on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope you all are well. Famine from Famine Studios. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and join. We have, you can hit the subscribe button. That always helps. Makes things fly pretty well. Makes things fly pretty well around here. So let's say hello. Say hello to our friends in the chat. Sorry, these animals. Every last animal in this house tonight has decided to just be the worst. I had to put Quinn in a crate because he was just being a terror, running around the house, jumping on the television, attacking his brother, chasing the girls. Cowman is just trying to eat everything that he finds. But yeah, we're here. We're live. So let's see who's in the chat. Bjorn coming in. Tuna on Rye, what's going on? Shmebulup is your cousin Bjorn, that is true. Red, hello. And what you working on tonight, Bjorn? Tonight we are going to be turning here on the channel. It gets hot. That's the thing in this house. It's either hot or cold. There's no in between. Barely comfortable. I fixed my hat though. I'm very excited about that. But you guys can deal with my sweaty bald head. Tonight we're going to be turning pink foam insulation from that 112 kit that we chopped down and decided we were going to use in 1/18 scale into some realistic brick texture, just like this. The sign for our bar. This is going to be the centerpiece bar. It's going to be the Lucky Raptor's foot, as you can see by the name. And we're going to get going on that. So we'll let a couple of people pop in. But there is the sign that will adorn the top of the bar. We're going to be using this for the front facade. And I think we're going to cut a couple of pieces of material and do those up too in 45-degree angles so that we can attach them when the time is right, but we can also texture them like we're going to be doing with this. So while everybody gets comfortable, grab a beverage, grab something cold to drink, perhaps a seltzer or a water. It's fall, so you could have a cider. You could have what's another thing that they have in the fall? What is it? What's the thing? Eggnog. People like eggnog. That's more of a winter, but I have seen people get excited for like eggnog in their coffee in the fall. Not for me, but is what it is. You could have a hot drink. You could have some tea, some coffee if you're up, decaf. Bjorn, Figtober. Why don't you go ahead and tell people about Figtober, Bjorn? I don't think we've talked about it on the channel. It'll be nice for you to share it with some folks and hopefully get you guys some traction on that. Hashtag Figtober. And I'm going to go ahead and while we wait on Bjorn to give the talk about Figtober, I'm going to sharpen the knife that I use to cut the foam. Again, safety. I like to use orange and neon so I can find the damn things when I set them down. Neon pull tab on that helps me find it. So Figtober is a new custom figure every day this month. And how would we share those out, Bjorn? There's a hashtag, right? Hashtag Figtober 2024. And you can look that up on Instagram. You can pull that up on Instagram and you guys can utilize that hashtag to see what other people worked on, as well as share out your stuff for Figtober. So we appreciate Bjorn and the fellas putting that together.
I'm going to say queso. I love cheese.
Now I'm just cutting some foam. I'll bring you guys down with the camera if you like. So let me get you guys set up with the okay. That's allowing me to monitor that. So I'm just gonna, like I've said before, when cutting XPS foam or even EVA foam, this stuff will dull your knives quicker than anything. So multiple passes. Don't try and force the blade through all in one cut, or you will just simply dull the knife and you'll get terrible, terrible rips and tears in your foam, and it won't be worth using. And I promise you, it's worth it just to take the couple extra seconds and just make those cuts. Just like that. Go. Got ourselves a pretty solid column there. And I want to take this column here. What are you doing, ma'am? I'm going to borrow this side too. Because we're going to be utilizing this. We want to use as much as we can for this project out of this. And again, I'm just going to sharpen this knife because I want to make sure we get the best possible cuts. Mama Rosie, hello. Oh, see? I can't tell if that was because that was $2 or I had too much blade out for that smaller. We're gonna find out. Okay, so we got that. Kind of cut that in an angle a little bit. So I'll fix that right now. No worries. Oh yeah, I fucked that up. That's okay. We can fix that later. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it right now. Get this out of the way. All right. So let's get the big thank you to our patrons. I appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel. Your help genuinely does keep the lights on, keep StreamYard went up in price, so I've been looking for something that does what I want it to do. But so far, StreamYard really is the only product out there that's been doing what I want it to do. And it's kind of annoying, but them's the ropes, as it were. Tonight's drink of choice is grapefruit seltzer, by the way. Now, what I'm doing here is just because, again, this got that crown molding I had made and that kind of detail. I want to keep that. I want to keep this roof piece here. So I put those 1, 2, 3 blocks behind this and a piece of marble sample just to support this while we do the work that we're doing. We're taking a ball of aluminum foil. It's the simplest thing that you could possibly utilize. Just a straight up ball of crumpled up aluminum foil, packed nice and tight. Does not need to be anything special, anything unique. Just one just one, that's my entire life, my crazy grandmother. She lives here. Just one sheet of clean aluminum foil. And that's the thing too, is like, as much as I like to recycle and you think like, it only had a little bit of, get a piece of aluminum foil, crumple it up. It's not gonna cost you. You go over to a friend's house, if you don't have a roll of aluminum foil, just tell them you need to make a foil ball for an art project and make it, keep it clean, because you can embed, if it's dirty or grimy, when you do what we're about to do, you can wind up embedding that oil and grime in there, and then it frigs up your paint job. It's terrible. So the trick with this is top secret industry shaking stuff. Okay, I don't normally share this secret out, so this is between us, right, guys? Ball of aluminum foil, and you just start rolling it on here, tapping it in place. Now what that does is it immediately textures those bricks. It adds so much value to that surface. And I'm just going through, and I rotate the ball too. You'll see when you rotate it, you get different patterns of depression. You know, kind of like life. You get different patterns of depression. But you get different impressions from this in here. And you want that. You don't want to do the same thing, because there's actually, like, on productions of big movies, when they go to like pick up the props and stuff, you can see when people use the same rock and beat up the prop, you could see across all the props it's the same corner of the rock, because they're just banging out hundreds of them. So I know something on like something on this project here where it's going to have a lot of camera close-ups. I'm going to be getting in there with a camera for videos, for YouTube things. I want to ding this up and have different patterns, so I might turn it to more of like this sharper corner and just hit a couple of spots like that, and I might go back over a couple areas with a different pattern, and it creates this like texture that looks like real brick. So again, we're just going now. If this was a big sheet, like a big giant sheet, you could absolutely do this. If it were flat and it was a flat sheet and you were comfortable, like just putting the right amount of pressure, I just prefer to hand do it all. Just go in, find certain areas where I really want like the bricks to maybe be a little more beat up, and I'll spend a couple more times making passes over it, like around doors where people bump into things, lean up against them, set things up. So just consider that. Now, we're going to have to get up in there at some point, and I got a little trick for that, I think. I think we can make something work with that. It's not overly complicated. But again, just here, we push in the bricks, we push. And all we're doing is just dimpling that up and adding character to it. And we can do that again here. Now, I don't want to do any type of weathering on this surface, because at some point I'm going to have to decide, number one, if I want that to be the smooth surface on there, if I want to rough it up, if I want to, where I want the sign to go, because it's going to more or less have that there, But I have to decide what type of material I want on that. I don't know if I want corrugated metal. I don't know if I want to make it seem like asphalt, if I want to put a little railing there for maybe, put a sniper up on the bar in case the crowd out front gets too rowdy. Who knows? But now we're going to focus on taking care of this, giving this its character. And I think, what we can do here is we'll put a lot into this middle section, right? And then if you want to get real jiggy with it, if you want to get a little freaky, you can like take your sanding stick and pick a brick and just push it in and come on the other side of it and push it in. And that rounds up that brick, and it just makes it sit in a little lower. So the paint, when you dry brush, is going to kind of miss that. And it's going to add a little shadow, a little bit of depth of character, depth of field, I should say, not character, but it does add character to it. So let's see, we'll do another brick. We'll do one around the doorway, right? We'll come in here, we'll just push around the edges. Push around the edges, and we'll push that. There we go. So we've got that there. Now, another thing that I did when I did the sign, and we'll do that in just a second here. I want to get these two pieces done because we want these at the ready in case when we go to use them. So we'll just do this. Like I said, you could absolutely just roll the thing, roll that beautiful beam footage, you know, and it works. You get the same effect. You just have to know not to press too hard in certain areas. When you get to the edge, you don't want to press too hard because you could wind up snapping some bricks off. We may do that intentionally a little bit later, but then just again, hit a couple of spots the same over and over. And now we've got this textured brick pattern, but we're not done. You see how it's got waves to it. It's got character, but we're not done yet. We'll do this one too. So I think I want to put a wooden beam next to one of these. We'll do that too. That'll be a little quickie for this. So we've got that. So before we go any further, here's what we're going to do. I took a toothpick, just a regular wooden toothpick. I got a box of like 1,500 of them. I bought like 3 of these in a set. Jesus, I'll never run out of toothpicks again. Right. Took the edge off of one, or the pick, the tip, just to see how it feels. Gave it a little bris, you know what I'm saying? And then I take it. I'm gonna bring you guys in, bring you down a little bit closer. Just a little bit. How's that look? Looks good for you guys? We'll get these out of the way for the time being. And then I take this rounded piece and I just go in between all the bricks, and we're gonna do it going the vertical way and then the horizontal way and then the vertical way. And this just pushes those little wispy bits of foam either in to the grooves or out of the grooves. And you see it's already making nice channels from when we grout this thing, which I've already done on that sign piece. That sign piece was basically my test of like, okay, let me see what colors I want to use, which methods I want to use. This is why I had 2 toothpicks. Which methods I want to use, what works, what doesn't. And trust me, I learned a lot just doing that little test piece. So, and this is again one of those tedious little chores that you can do. And I say chores because yeah, it's our hobby, and some people may really get a kick out of this part of the process. I don't. This is like a chore to me, but it's worth it, so I do it. But you just want to get in to all these grooves. And you're just creating that little extra space, rounding the bricks a little bit, giving it more of that real world, also that sci-fi character. Like, look at bricks in sci-fi movies, and they are, slightly beveled. They're slightly rounded. They've got that kind of uniqueness to them that they've been used. They're very world-lived. So we've done that the horizontal way. I always get those two mixed up. Watching quietly while I donate. Donating plasma, blood, kidney. What are we donating? Hi, Jess. You can use actual rocks, Bjorn. I just find this to be super lightweight. And I mean, I've got rocks, but I digress. You can use rocks. You can use chunks of brick. I use those for like bigger pieces, but for something like this, I just like the aluminum foil ball. And yes, 1, 2, 3 blocks are helpful. I like them. I will put them. I have a list on Amazon of useful things that I was supposed to drop into the subject of this video, which I will after this video is done. It's got the Eileen's that I use, the grout that I'll be using, all those things. I put it together and then just didn't add it to the video because animals were being absolute bonkers, little critters tonight. But yeah, and we're just going into these little slits here, rubbing the stick back and forth, opening up that gap a little bit. Because again, when we start grouting this, we're going to be thankful that it's got all that space for it to go in and add character and depth. So and here is nice because it's like, oh, these are just little, we got little spots here. We can go in if we want to, wiggle it, make it wider a little bit. If you see any in areas like piece of pink that's standing up too much, you can go in and kind of bust that around. But yeah, like I said, quick. It's an easy process. It's just kind of repetitive. Like I said, I would normally be doing this while watching, you know, some TV, some YouTube. Maybe I put on some Famine Studios and watch that. Oh, wait, that's me. Hint, hint. While I work on things. And here we go. I'm just opening these up, finishing them off, making sure that the gap's there. Cool, cool, cool. So now that's ready for the next steps of the process. I like Eileen's Turbo Tacky too. I ideally would live off of Eileen's Turbo Tacky if I could. Somehow it seems to sell. I literally think somebody just goes into our Michaels and buys all of it. But I also didn't see any on Amazon initially. I saw Fast Tack and other things from Eileen's, but not Turbo Tacky. So just keep that in mind. If you come across it, scoop it up. Might be worth something. Oh, you must have a field day with my videos then. Because I just say dumb stuff all the time. And incorrect stuff. I know this because people get in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. Which is fine. Engagement's engagement. I'll take it. But, you know. I was watching a video of somebody. They were building a retaining wall on their property. And they did the bags of concrete. Excuse me. No, it was cement. Cement bags. They did the cement bags. They placed them down. They drove rebar into them. They wet them and let them sit up. And people were commenting like, oh, you know, that concrete's not going to cure. And as soon as you tear those bags open, it's just going to be powder because they're plastic lined. And so the guy goes over with water and he dumps it on there. And he's like, that's really weird because, like, I've been using this, you know, this concrete mix, cement mix for my entire life, and I've never seen them lined in plastic. And he wets the bag and the bag just falls apart. And he's like, that's funny. I've never seen plastic do that. He's like, oh, by the way, concrete and cement are two different things. And this is the other one. And just like people will go out of their way to tell you you're wrong. And I don't know whether it's like a sincere feeling of supremacy. There I am just pushing one of those bricks in again. I don't know if it's a supremacy thing, like where they just want to feel like they know better than somebody who's being successful at it on the internet, or if it's like they really think that they know better than the person. But I mean, genuinely, if I'm doing something wrong, like horribly wrong, please tell me in the comments, tell me in the video. But also, if you think you know what I'm doing and you think you know better, but also you're entirely wrong, just don't feel bad when people call you out on it. That's just my main ask of like people commenting online. Then they get mad and they're like, whatever, loser. It's like, nah, don't do that. Like I love this ability to share my work with people and talk with you guys and you know, make a little bit of coin off of this process. But man, I think the internet was a mistake some days. Like I genuinely do. I think that the internet might have been like just an error, giving everyone access to just be mean with their opinions that are usually wrong. In a lot of circles, it's just like maybe we need to look at how we did this and do it a different way some other time. And one thing that I like about doing things like this is I get to show you guys this stuff in real time. This is the nitty gritty. I love channels like Bill Making Stuff, Studson Studios. They do time lapses on their videos, and like stop motions where they show riveting things and stacking bricks and stuff. And and Bill will always tell you the real juicy part of it is like that takes a whole day to do. So you guys see this is in real time, me going through these lines, these little extra steps that I like to pass along to people that helps make these things just look a little bit better, a little bit more real, a little bit more actual for the scale and for what I'm using them for. And you can just see here, look at the difference. These are the ones I've already passed through. These are the ones I haven't. So it's just taking the extra time to do these little things. And I could easily, when I do my builds, you guys see me speed things up. And that's the truth, because while I know you guys appreciate coming to my lives because we can interact, I couldn't imagine sitting down and watching a video on regular speed of somebody doing something like this. Just not talking because there's no one for them to interact with on camera. There's nobody to, goof off with or check the comments or anything like that. I would get so bored. But I recognize, kind of show this stuff off. If I show it off every now and again, it does show that this stuff takes time. And so when people come along and they go, oh, I could do that, I absolutely want you to do that. I just want to show you how long it takes to do that and give you the tools and the skills. And I use that term loosely, skills, because we're rolling a tinfoil ball. We're rolling a tinfoil ball on pink insulation foam using a toothpick to create gaps between it. So, anybody can do this. It's just a matter of them actually taking the time to do it and realize that how much work goes into it. Here, I'm going to push this brick in because I can. There we go. Make it a little wonky. Now, if I had a assistant in the shop here, I'm not in my shop anymore, in my studio, quote unquote. The studio is where I am, goddammit. But if I had an assistant in my studio, once this part was done, I would ask them to make whatever cuts I needed to do. Like I should just trim the burns from the laser and the router. I'd ask them to make whatever cuts I needed. And then I would also ask them to Mod Podge these and I'm curing it out of the way. But I don't have anybody here to do that. So we're going to Mod Podge it all in one go. We'll do a little Q&A. I'll show off some stuff maybe. And then we'll go back to this if we can tonight. If not, it'll be another night. Maybe we'll do it Friday night after World Makers. Oh, there's Friday night. I will be going live because when Zilla has his wedding, I will not be able to attend due to work-related tomfoolery. I guess that's the best way we're going to explain it for the time being. But I will do a live that evening. And I don't know, wherever we land on that, we'll work on this. Let's see. Might be that guy when I see it at Wally World. Well, you might. But I go to Joann's usually and Michael's to buy those types of things. YouTubers will doing things. 4-hour unboxing video once. What were they unboxing, Bjorn? I'm actually curious. A bunch of Masters of the Universe and Marvel Legends stuff. Got it. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Marvel Legends unboxings and reviews, and then Glenn was my favorite. Watching him, but unfortunately he passed away very suddenly in his sleep. Very heartbreaking. But his videos were fantastic, and I loved watching his reviews and his unboxings, and he was very entertaining and very, very funny to the camera. So that was cool, which made watching those easy. But like, I just couldn't imagine watching someone do something like this quietly, because I'm sure, you know, not everybody in our hobby is. I used to believe I was extroverted, and I don't know if whether it's just the climate today when you go out. And it's not even a political thing. It's just like people, it does seem like even before COVID, and I say before COVID, and I use that in the loosest explanation, even before COVID, people were starting to get weird and really comfortable in public being fucking weird. And so I don't consider myself as extroverted as I used to be. I am a yapper. I love to talk to people when I am passionate about something. You can ask my girlfriend, my lovely girlfriend, if she's watching right now. She will tell you I don't ever shut the fuck up. But it just does seem like there has been a change in how people are comfortable being in public, and that kind of takes a lot of the excitement of being out in the world. No, that's reasonable, Bjorn. And, you know, some of my best friends are very, very introverted people. They don't like to go out. They like to be calm and quiet and to themselves and only talk about certain things with certain folks. And I 1000% get that, and I appreciate that, and I love those people. And then I have other friends who are just very outgoing and just can be the life of the party and whatnot. But it just seems like, I don't know, for me, my taste for going out into the public with people has been kind of poisoned, right? And I don't know what it is, but it seemed like even before COVID was a huge thing and we stopped going out and, you know, we quarantined for good reason, it seemed like people just fucking... I'm going to say this, and this is not... Famine Studios does not condone violence. I don't condone violence. I'm saying this all as a joke in Minecraft. This is a joke about Minecraft. But people have forgotten what it's like to get punched in the mouth for saying and doing certain things. And I think that's brought out a really bad side of people where there's no consequences for actions. And it's definitely tempered my experience of being outside. I grew up in a time, and I guess I'm 38, all right? I'm fucking old. Now, I don't mean like, 38's old, but I'm older than a lot of people that watch my channel. I'm older than many of my friends are, and that's okay. I grew up in a time where if I was running my mouth on a playground or after school or something like that, until a certain time, if I said the wrong thing to somebody or they said the wrong thing to me, we'd have a scrap. There was a consequence to what you said. Not, a couple of people will be mad and someone will go, it's just a joke. Like, if you insulted somebody the way some of these people talk in public to each other and, like, insult people, they'd get their butts whooped. And I don't know if that's necessarily okay, but it seems to have prevented some of these people from doing what they do now and they're comfortable doing. And I don't understand that. I guess maybe it's because I've been boxed in the mouth a few times for saying the wrong thing or perceived the wrong thing, and I've had to swing on people for saying the wrong thing. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I don't, when I send, there's a safety thing. I usually always put those away. I don't know why I didn't, but you saw that. I just put my arm right on it. That could have been bad. So always safety, your blades away. I noticed it because it was blaze orange. See? But sometimes people just don't seem to care about the consequences of flapping their gums, and they've forgotten that there used to be consequences for flapping their gums like that. I do. I feel some days I feel like a boomer when I say things like that. You know, like back in my day. But yeah, it's true. In certain environments, it's still like that. Like, you know, you go into the city. If you went to New York City outside of Times Square, because I mean Times Square is just a tourist thing. It's cool. There's some cool stuff there, but it's a tourist trap, right? But if you go into Times Square and you walk across the wrong person outside of Times Square and you say something about somebody's mom or call them a slur or whatever, like you're gonna get boxed and everybody's gonna go on about their day. But you know, most other places, if you do that, people will record you on video and try and cancel you, but nobody really does anything. And I think that that's part of the problem. People don't say excuse me when they bump into you anymore. You hold the door for somebody, and not that anyone owes you anything, but you may hold the door open for somebody struggling with a box and they'll just push past you and go. I don't know. It's just very strange to me. And it's like, I live in a town. How am I going to word this? I got my 20th high school reunion coming up next Saturday. So I don't know if anyone's going to come back and watch my old videos if we get on the topic of this. But I live in a town with not a very high education rate. Not everyone graduated. Not everyone needs to. Not a thing, because some of the smartest people I know didn't finish high school, didn't finish middle school, didn't get a GED, didn't get a college degree. They're smart. But as far as the average baseline goes, some of these folks never learned simple things like manners and cognitive thinking and common sense. And it's weird that they're just out there in the world. And so, like, you go into town and you'll hear people just say the stupidest thing or make a comment to somebody else. And it's like, what happened? What happened? I don't know. It's very strange to me. But yeah, I seem to spend more time in the house. I like spending time with pets. I do like, you know, spending time with my girlfriend when I can. If we do go places, I do. But, you know, give me the opportunity. And I may say, like, yeah, no, hell no. Let's stay in tonight. Or let's, you know, keep it low key. I don't know if my partying days are behind me. I don't know how many all-nighters I've got left in me. That's for goddamn sure. But like, I'm taking better care of myself too, and I wonder if that's got something to do with it. Like, I've lost 30. I haven't talked about this a lot on here. It may not look it because you see my tummy and my chest in the videos, but I've lost 37 pounds. And I'm gonna go to your story, Red, because that's amazing. But like, I've been taking better care of myself and everything because I want to be on the clock longer. And you know, I don't know if going out in public and dealing with people is going to extend that. All right, we got to visit this story here. Yeah, that's a good safety tip. My grandfather punched a guy out on Christmas Eve because the guy took his parking spot at a restaurant. All right, so I don't have a fantastic relationship with my mother. She's just the worst. I will say I do have one good Christmas memory with her. She hadn't purchased presents yet. It was Christmas Eve, so we go over to the mall. And we were sitting out in the car after we dropped off some presents to warm up because it was cold. It was snowy, you know, like it used to snow in December. It used to be cold in December for Christmas time. And we're sitting in the parking lot, and she's trying to get warm, and she's smoking a cigarette. And somebody sees her car, and they're sitting there waiting for her. And like, they're starting to get agitated. So they start doing like the hand gestures of like, move, come on, back your car out. So I said, hey, Ma, just turn the car on, back out a couple inches and pull forward. And so we sat there doing that for like an hour, and people were pulling up thinking that they were going to get our parking spot. And it was so stupid and so mean on Christmas Eve to do that to people. But man, I laughed. Oh gosh. Hey, Famine, why are you the way you are? Well, let me tell you a story, kids. The last time I saw a real, like, fist fight over some dumb shit, when I had my own restaurant, which was a whole different time in my life. Back in 2000 and... I want to say 2007, maybe 2008. No, 2007. When there was the gas shortage on the East Coast, and like people are actually lining up for gas, like there were gas lines. It was legit. From my sandwich shop, my restaurant there that I had, you could see the 3 main gas stations in town, and there were lines. And there was one gas station that was a Getty Mobile Mart, and I watched a dude fill up his car. Then he filled up his lawnmower can, I assume, a jerry can. And then as he pulled away, someone cut around the line and pulled into the spot, and he started filling up his gas, and the pump ran out of gas on that side. Guy behind him, who would have been getting his gas, got out of his car, and these 2 dudes got into a fist fight over gasoline in a time when it was literally like, yes, there's a gas shortage, but also they're going to be opening reserves. Gas is going to, be back. It's not as scarce as, like, it's not a big deal. Like, behave yourselves, conduct yourselves as human beings. And people didn't. So I saw this fist fight break out over gas. And I just remember, like, that's so fucking weird to me. Like, it wasn't a real, ooh, I don't want to lose that. Like, it wasn't a real disaster. You were gonna be able to get to work no matter what. Like, somebody could give you a ride or whatever. But just, man, these grown people, and I say grown as a fully, maybe a little overgrown 38-year-old man. But like people fist fighting over gas at a gas pump when they were literally on the news like, oh yeah, the president's going to be signing an executive order this week to open up our reserves, that we can get them to the gas pumps and blah, 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 blah. And it's going to drive the prices down. This was like when gas was $4 and change during the Bush administration. Like it's just watching people fist fight over fuel was very strange to me at the time. And now it's like people don't do that, which I guess is good, but they'll just say whatever they want and do whatever they want and videotape it or, live stream it and walk around. Kick streamers, I see that all the time now. That's a new thing where like people that stream on that app call themselves IRL streamers, and they just walk around and do stuff to get reactions out of people. And some of the stuff I see is so abhorrent. And I'm like, how has, nothing gone horribly wrong? I saw that whole unfortunate incident in the mall food court where that guy got shot by the delivery driver because the guy walked up and asked to kiss him or something. He didn't know what it was. 2 people walked up on him with cameras and tried to get real close to him. And he got scared and gave the guy a new piercing in his stomach. Is that the right thing to do? I don't necessarily think so. Do I understand, like, being scared in that weird situation? Sure. Like, I wouldn't know what to do if some stranger walked up to me and was like, let me kiss you or whatever he said that was dumb. Maybe I'd let him kiss. I don't know how handsome he was. Depends on what kind of mood I was in. And yes, that is dystopian as heck. Not dystopian. Nobody called dystopian Toy Grounds. Or call him. See if he wants to come join the stream. I miss that guy. And for these up here, I'm just doing little tiny pokes with the toothpick because I would imagine that these are more protected bricks than these ones down here. So maybe they'll have a little more grout in them, a little less gappage or whatever. But I'm just going through adding a little character to those too, because while they'll be covered in shadows or, viewed differently from angles, I still want them to have that. These bricks are, being used. These bricks are, being supported structurally they're structurally supporting something. And we can come in and do a couple other things too to add to that. Well, that's the thing here in America is like, even, I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it, but I could absolutely see being a delivery driver, which is a more dangerous statistically a more dangerous job than it is to be an American police officer. You are more likely to be shot, stabbed, and robbed as a pizza delivery driver than you are to be injured in the line of duty as a cop in this country, carrying a sidearm. And if some big, tall person approached me and got in my space and was violating that, and you know how much cash they carry and card readers and things like that, you don't want to get robbed, you may react that way. I completely understand where the person was coming from. I do not believe that that is how I would have behaved, but I very much understand why they did and why they probably had that with them. And it's my understanding that this person was let off. They didn't get charged because they didn't do anything wrong. This person encroached on their space. They didn't have much time or, space to flee. But yeah, it's a weird thing. But just, I couldn't imagine, somebody coming up to me and closing that gap and asking whatever and shoving a camera in my face and whatnot. And people just seem to get away with a lot of things that people used to not get away with. And I think that's really colored my worldview as less rose-tinted and more blue and gray of going out and being about people. Also 38, you know how many guns I've seen outside of gun range? 0. Be good, Jess. I do own a gun. I also live somewhere, despite the fact that I live 100 yards from the police station. It still has taken them over 10 minutes to arrive at my house in emergencies. So I'll leave that to, quick maths for you. But also, I don't bring it outside and carry it around with me like it's the old goddamn West. I think there's a time and a place for that, and I don't live in the time or the place for that. So. Bjorn, I opened up the cabinet today to get something out, and I found the cap stash that you gave me. And I was like, Bjorn, cap stash. So right there with you. She does have the best timing. I was actually saying that you earlier here that you could attest to the fact that I don't shut the fuck up and I am a certified yapper. If I'm very passionate about something, I could just go on about it with people for hours on end. See? I am a certified yapper. What were we talking about? What was it? Christ, we were talking about something the other day, and I just happened to have like a cavalcade of knowledge about that, and it all got verbal diarrhea out on poor Gothic Maximalist. Go. All right. Oh, I see a couple I missed because I was yapping. The Limpy video. Oh, you got it working again? Yeah, that's true. They'd probably circle the block one time and drop me off. Me. You know, these zip ties aren't going to hold me. There's a little latch right here. Watch if I just see how I undid those. No, I'll put them back on. I just want you to know that this isn't really going to work out for you as well as you think. You know, I'm just saying. Also, you didn't zip tie my feet, so I'm just going to go ahead and stand up and stretch for a minute here. And, you know, what are you guys driving? Why are you driving this slow? Aren't you trying to get away? And next thing you know, they're dropping me back off on the front porch. All right, so we got that. Let's make the cuts because I do want to get. All right, so that's where we're going to make our cut. All right, so I want to make one slice here. Just do some of my song remixes. Motherfucker. They probably turn themselves in. All right, so I want to make this. Wow, that works out. So what is that? 1.5 inches? No, 1.5 inches. Look at me go. So that's 3/4 of an inch to the middle. So I'm gonna make my carving mark right there. And I'm going to make another one up here. Okay, I'm going to place this here. Look at that, kids. That's how you do it, poorly. So I need to cut this long way. And I'm not putting any pressure on the blade again. Just walking it through because I'm trying not to create an angle. So now I've got 2 pillars, right? Kidnaps famine. Yeah, exactly. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. Are those not the words? Okay, so now I should cut this. I want to cut the back. This is going to be hard. Oh, I should use my my hot wire table, but I'm not gonna. Because I want to have I want to have a 45-degree angle so that this is banked off a little bit to give it some depth. All right, let's see what I can come up with here. Okay. Yeah, I can't not sing songs the wrong way. I'm sure I could. I'm sure if I was drugged or something. How do I want to do this? I mean, that's good. 45 degrees, 45 degrees. All right. So I mean, that's kind of horrible. We're gonna make this work, kids. We're gonna make it as a family. We're gonna get through this together. All right. So that's the first part. Yeah, I could party like that. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going to copy that exactly the opposite on the other side. I mean, it doesn't matter because I could always flip it, right? So then that would be this way. Yeah, so okay. All right, I got an idea here, folks, and it worked out. Not all my ideas do. Hi, Cowman. Would you like to say hello? Everybody. He's like, no, I'm going to sit right here and wag my tail as fast as cow possible. Hi, Stork. Let me say hi. Hi, Stork. Come here. Say hello. Hello. Come here, Rosie. Come say hi. Come say hi, Mama. Oh, Stark. You such a jumper. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi. Hi, cow. No yelling. Quiet barks. Quiet barks. Good boy. Silly boy. Good boy. Oh, he's so quiet. What a good boy. All right, so I sharpen this. Did I sharpen that? We're going to do it again anyway. And I'm just going to go like this again. Okay. Oof, almost got myself. That, kids, is why we're careful when we do this stuff. That's all right. I'll be able to fill that in. So we got R2. Fire up the converters. So we've got our two angled pieces here. Kind of the same, but not quite. But not horrible either. So go ahead and lean with it, rock with it, as the kids say. Do the kids still say that? Is anybody a kid? Anybody say that? Somebody ask a youth. Somebody get out there and ask a youth if they still say that. Yeah, it's gonna work. All right, so I'm gonna do a trick that I used to do when I cosplayed, and that is cut a little channel right down the middle of the foam. Doesn't have to be super deep, just enough to remove some material, right? That's what we've done there. We just cut out a little channel, enough to remove some material. Now, instead of using, real quick, where did that go? We'll do this real quick. We'll just take those birds off there. Just a sanding stick or a nail file, whatever you want to call it. we'll fire up the heat gun, the hot glue gun, I should say. And what we'll do is we'll do Eileen's tacky glue on these parts here. Boom, boom. And down this middle track, we'll put hot glue. And basically what that's going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to press this onto here. The hot glue is going to bond instantaneously. The tacky glue is going to take a little bit of time to dry. But in the meantime, it's going to create that surface and hold it in place so that we can move on with the project onto other things. Good, good, good. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that'll work. And remember how I said if your knife is dull, it'll make these weird cuts on your foam? That's what it does. But imagine that you're cutting your like nice piece of foam and that happens to it and your cuts all look like shit and you got to sand them. That's why we sharpen our hobby knife. So let's cut a... channel down the middle of that. And that one's thinner. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Don't overthink it, fam. Go. Again, just making that channel so we can remove material. And a question for y'all. I know we talked a little bit earlier about like watching streamers and putting on their videos in the background. If I started making playlists of the streams, instead of you guys having to, I could kind of arrange them in the order of the projects. Is that something that you guys would like to watch? I do have some very low royalty-free music playing right now. Do you not hear it? Is that better? Is that too loud? Here, oh, it's too loud. See, this is my life. This is my life here. How's that? We can go down to 25. So, like I said, we're going to do Eileen's. And here we keep a I keep a scrap piece of foam, usually a little bit bigger than this, but this will work. Spread that. Do it, spread it. There you go. That's on there. And now I got my hot glue gun. And I'm just going to dump out a hot load of glue in here.
Like I said, what are you eating, Rosie? Are you just eating debris off the ground? Because I haven't dropped anything on the ground. There we go. That's that. All right, I see what I did wrong there. That's okay. Like I said, we're gonna do some stuff with this. Now I've got this back here. I'm just going to let that glue do what glue do. Since I have fingers of steel. Push that down. Help that grab. I could stick a couple of toothpicks in there to help hold it, but not overly concerned about that. That's perfect. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, you know what? For sake of diorama, we'll do one in there. There we go. Another one up top. Cool. That's that side. Ah, heck it, we'll do a middle one too. What do you say, gang? So now we're going to do this one next. So I think what I can do cut that a little snugger, a little more snug, more snugly. And I just want to tell you, if I use my hot wire cutter for this, this would be way faster. Probably look a little more professional, but we're doing it this way. And that's okay. Because it doesn't need to look super professional, because we can hide a lot of crimes with paint. And we can fix a lot of mistakes with some spackle. So I'm not entirely yeah, that'll work. We don't lose any sleep over this. We're just gonna let's go. Well, that's not hot yet. Son of a bitch. It's okay. 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 Could be high enough. Yeah. Like I said, just a hot load of hot glue. Right there, right there. Nice. I'm gonna put a couple of toothpicks in there. Because we'll be able to put some grout into some lines here. And we'll hope keep things nice and snug. Okay. Excess glue there. Cool. So let's get that snipped. Because I got a piece here that's sticking out. It will stab me, and I'll yell. And I'll be like, I've been got! They done got the fammer! Okay, so that's already got way more character, just putting those pieces there. And I think we can do a little bit more while we're here. So let me clean up a little bit here. Let me just bring y'all back up to see my beautiful face. You know, give you guys a number that. Let me get this foam. Like I said, I want to clean up this foam a little bit. And this will be a bonus lesson for anybody that wants to. I will show y'all how to make some wood grain out of this XPS foam, or on this XPS foam, as it were, that will enhance the look of your project and also save you from using wood. You don't want to. And why would you, maybe you want to make tabletop terrain for a game, or maybe in your world building, your space station, you want to have like a cabin and some backwards force like Yoda. Options. So let's just okay. Got some nice rods here of XPS foam. And what we're going to do, we're going to measure the height of this with a ruler. But we'll take one of these and we'll put wood on the face of one of them, on one of the sides. Yes. Yeah, so all right, cool. First thing I want to do is get a flat surface. Cool. So we've got almost 9 inches a length, which is more impressive than a lot of things. I like using the 1, 2, 3 blocks to shore up my squares. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, bring you guys back down to the overhead view. Now, all you need for this is 3 things and an imagination, all right? You can either use a colored pencil, or I use this rat tail file. A wire brush, doesn't have to be copper, it can be steel. I just prefer to use the brass or copper or whatever that is, and a sanding stick, and a basic knowledge of how wood looks, right? So we're going to use these sides here for the wood grain. So I'm just going to put, just as a reminder to myself, that that's the side that's going to have the wood grain on it, right? So basically, we're just going to go and put some faux wood grain on here. Now, it's going to look cartoony initially, because you're literally making fake wood grain. Just bear with me. Come back in, pick out spots, go in the middle. You can make a gap. You can do an eye there, a knot in the wood. So basically, you're going to do that. You can go pretty deep. I don't go overly deep because, you don't want to chip the edges off and you don't want to spend so much time filling that in with paint. But now you've made your your base lines, your cartoony lines, and it looks like that, right? And so it's like, all right, that kind of maybe looks like wood. The next step is you're going to take your wire brush and go in one direction. Now come back the other direction, but just go back and forth. Put, I'd say, gentle pressure. Okay, so now you're starting to get those tiny little grooves in there, like real wood fibers. I'm actually gonna do myself a little favor here. And now what I've done a couple of times is I've just gone back through, picked out a couple of those deeper lines, and just started somewhere in the middle, and then stopped in the middle. Just add a little character, and then again, just go back with that. And now what that leaves you with is that. Now I said there was going to be a third thing that you needed, and that's your sanding stick. Because you're going to want to soften the edges of the wood, because this isn't something that you go pick up from Home Depot. This is a real timber, and when you paint it, which we'll do in another video, you're going to wind up with wood looking like wood grain, real wood. You could paint it a few different ways. You could chip off the ends, make it look, but I think that that's pretty good, a good facsimile for wood. And that's, again, just add a pink XPS font. Just crappy scrap. I'm sure this was like construction waste, I think, that I got this from. In fact, I'm almost certain it was from my old job, from packing, from, whatever was shipped in crates. So, again, doesn't have to be the same pattern as the other one. You could have more lines, less lines. And if you don't press too hard, you can get little skip and bumps like I did. But I got a little heavy-handed there. You could practice on a piece of scrap. That's easy. And don't beat yourself up if you make mistakes, because you can hide a lot doing this, because you're making basically artificial wood. And then I've done that. And like I said, just go back and forth. This. Maybe pop out a few of those screws if you got, you made them. You can actually add, like, some holes, some damage, maybe termite damage. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. I just know it's going to be there. All right. Again, you've got your piece of wood. Make floorboards, you can make ceilings, you can make walls. You could do like a milling station and have wood blocks getting cut. Like, there's options. But now we're going to take these, and I want to glue them like so onto these, just to add a little more depth of, this building, to make the opening seem deeper. And I think that'll be cool. And I think for this we'll use toothpicks, and we'll use Eileen's tacky glue, and just glue it in. Let it dry overnight. I don't need to use the hot glue right now. I'm not in a rush at this point because it is the end of the evening. But yeah, and also again, you take that sanding stick and just soften up a couple of those corner lines. It's wood. Doesn't need to be sharp like concrete or anything like that. You can go in there and do one of those too. Explore, get a feel for it, see what you like, and just go from there. Cool. And then I will just run a toothpick into the brick. Put it there. And then I'll run a toothpick down here at the bottom. There. One in the dead center. You can't see this, but cool. Now we've got a little more of a grandiose entrance. And again, in Gimmick, one of the pieces of lore that I've leaned so heavily upon is that wood has high value in this world because it's not commonly found. So if somebody has wood, honestly, that wasn't the intention. But if somebody has wood on their building, or they are selling wood, or they have like ownership of wood in the world, that means that they have money, and they've got a little weight, a little gravitas of their character. They, they're maybe somebody important. And so business owners, they want to have wood, and having the aesthetic of the Old West in some parts, it's something exciting. Because there's no wood around Gimmick. There's no forest of like pine trees or elm trees or oak trees or whatever, bamboo. Anything that's like naturally plants are grown, and they're there to help keep the air purified. There are plants on the planet, there are woods, but they are nowhere near Gimmick. And so far, none of that wood that is around Gimmick is from those locations. A little bit of lore for y'all. There we go. And we need one more toothpick. Let's see. Boom. We now have a big grand entranceway for this bar. And then at some point here, we will decide what kind of material. I may do that. I may just make that decision off camera, but now we've got a sign. It's starting to take shape, it's starting to look like something. So hope you guys enjoyed this live. I see that a lot of people have stepped out, which is understandable. It's 10:45 on a Tuesday night. You all probably got jobs and families and such. I get you. Stay tuned this week. There will be a video up about the Blurg and Mando 2-pack. I want to do a review. Very excited about that. That's what I've been waiting for ages. Otherwise, if you are a fan of my stuff here, you like these videos, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or Ko-Fi. Family Studios X, you can get t-shirts on TeePublic. My girlfriend's got some awesome shirts on Next Gen Banner. Some of them are very funny and right up our alley. One of my favorites is the Easily Distracted by Tits and Tacos, because let's be honest, why wouldn't you be distracted by Tits and Tacos? Check those out. If you get the opportunity, go check those things out. Like I said, pick up a shirt, pick up some stickers, whatever you guys want, always helps out. I want to thank my patrons again. They are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That's the least I could do. I like to include them in my videos and shout outs when I get to do the long form content. So you can see that there. There's things you can download. There's all sorts of tiers. There's free tiers if you're into that jam. Super chats are available as well as thanks on these videos. If you don't want to help out financially, reasonable, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Those also help if you share it with a friend, if you know somebody who's into a hobby or, likes watching, guys ramble while wearing eyeliner talking about Star Wars and building fake bricks. Share that with friends. Always appreciate it. I hope you guys have an excellent night, and I will see you guys on Friday. Be well.